Welcome back, fight fans. Today we're taking a closer look at the possible showdown between a knockout artist from Baltimore, Maryland, known as Gervonta "Tank" Davis, versus a three-weight division champion, two-time gold medalist boxing prodigy from Ukraine, known as Vasily Lomachenko. Before we begin, please don't forget to like and subscribe. After his recent victory against Frank Martin, Gervonta Davis might be considering Vasily Lomachenko as his next fight. Lomachenko is no pushover, however, and one can argue that both fighters are evenly matched, which would mean it can be one of the biggest fights of 2024. If the fight does indeed happen, it will be in the later phase of this year. Let's take a closer look. Gervonta Davis solidified his status on Saturday as one of boxing's top fighters with yet another impressive knockout victory. Davis stunned Frank Martin with a powerful left uppercut followed by a devastating left cross that sent Martin to the canvas in round 8, unable to continue. Davis, ranked number 7 in ESPN's pound-for-pound list, may potentially face Vasily Lomachenko in a highly anticipated lightweight showdown later this year. The event marked Davis's successful defense of his WBA lightweight title and was notably the 100th championship fight held at Las Vegas's MGM Grand Garden Arena. This fight was Davis's first in 14 months, following his 7th-round TKO of Ryan Garcia in April of 2023, and his return since a brief jail term last summer. In the co-main event on the PBC pay-per-view, David Benavidez made a confident debut in the light heavyweight division, securing a clear unanimous decision victory over former champion Alexander Volstik. Although Benavidez did not score a knockout, his performance showcased his potential for significant bouts in the 175-pound weight class. Meanwhile, Liam Pero of Australia caused a major upset elsewhere that same Saturday, defeating Subriel Matias in a decision to claim the IBF Junior Welterweight Championship. This victory reshapes the landscape of the 140-pound division and opens new opportunities for Pero as a rising force in that weight division. Each of these fights offered valuable insights and implications for their respective decisions, setting the stage for potential future matchups and title challenges based on their outcomes. Gervonta Davis, 30-0, 28 knockouts, once again showed why he is one of boxing's most exciting fighters with a stunning knockout win. Frank Martin started strong, winning the first 3 rounds on all 3 judges' scorecards with a sharp jab. Martin even managed to bruise Davis's right eye with his left hand while fighting on the back foot. However, Davis is known for starting slow, and this fight was no different. As the fight progressed, Davis began to apply more pressure with a southpaw jab and powerful left hands. Martin couldn't handle Davis's increasing pressure and aggression. When Davis finally landed a clean shot, Martin, who had never been knocked out before, couldn't withstand it. This was Martin's first fight against an elite opponent, and it showed. With this victory, there's growing anticipation for Davis to finally fight in a title unification bout. There are early discussions about Davis facing IBF lightweight champion Vasily Lomachenko, who is considered ESPN's #1 lightweight and a future Hall of Famer. Davis, who ranked in ESPN's #2 lightweight, also has the option of fighting Shakur Stevenson later this year. Stevenson, who defends his WBC 135-pound title against Artem Tartunyan on July 6th, will be a free agent after that fight, making a potential matchup with Davis easier to arrange. These future bouts promise exciting possibilities for Davis as he continues to solidify his place at the top of the lightweight division. Bob Arum recently spoke with Fight Hype about the chances of arranging a fight between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Vasily Lomachenko. Arum believes that although the fight might have had more significance in the past, it's still very possible to make it happen now. Bob Arum spoke on the likelihood of successfully negotiating a Tank versus Lomachenko fight, stating, "We know that both fighters want the fight. When that's the case, the people in charge will sit down to work out the financial details and put it together. I'm optimistic that they'll succeed and the fight will happen, but until it's signed, you can't be certain." When asked on the different networks that would need to be involved in making that fight, Bob responded, "Don't worry, the networks are cooperative. If the fight doesn't happen, it's not because of the networks. It's the people involved with the fighters who might be unrealistic, but I don't think that's the case here. I believe the negotiations will go smoothly between both sides." When asked if a Tank versus Lomachenko fight is at its peak commercial value, Bob answered, "I'm not sure if it's at its highest point, but this is the right time to make the fight. Both fighters are coming off big wins, so everything looks good. Maybe the fight would have meant more at another time, but you can't dwell on that. We're here now in the careers of both fighters, and it's a very interesting and exciting matchup. Bob Arum is confident that the fight can be arranged soon, given the willingness of both fighters and the cooperative nature of the networks involved. The potential showdown between Davis and Lomachenko promises to be a thrilling and highly anticipated event in the boxing world. If the fight happens, both Tank Davis's WBA and Lomachenko's IBF titles will be on the line in this long-awaited unification battle. The winner will likely be considered the top fighter in the lightweight division. Bob Arum is eyeing November or December for the Tank vs. Lomachenko showdown, aiming to deliver a major fight to boxing fans late in the year. This could potentially be the biggest bout of Gervonta Davis's career at 29 years old, as he has yet to face an elite opponent like Lomachenko in a truly even matchup. It's a significant step up in competition for Tank, and how he handles this level of talent remains to be seen. Davis will need to significantly improve his game to beat Lomachenko. Tank's usual strategy of waiting for several rounds to land a big punch might not work against the elusive Lomachenko. Tank's fighting style is often too simple and predictable. Lomachenko, a two-time Olympic gold medalist, has faced many fighters and styles during a successful amateur career of 396 fights with only one defeat. He could outclass Davis. However, in boxing, anything can happen. Fans and fighters alike know all too well that one punch can completely change the outcome and momentum of a fight. Davis's promoters have done a good job protecting him over the years, keeping him unbeaten and turning him into a star without facing many risky opponents. It's been a smart strategy. Bob Arum mentioned that negotiations for the Tank vs. Lomachenko fight have already started, building on previous talks. If Team Tank wants this fight, it will likely happen next. Lomachenko has been calling out Davis for the past 7 years, but there has been resistance, specifically from Tank's ex-mentor, Floyd Mayweather Jr., who previously stated that Tank was in no hurry to fight Lomachenko and that Vasily was in a hurry to make the fight happen as he was nearing the later part of his boxing career. If the Davis-Lomachenko fight doesn't happen, Davis might consider fighting Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson, and possibly Isaac Pitbull Cruz. These are the other names Davis mentioned as potential opponents after his last fight. In a now-deleted post on social media, the undefeated lightweight announced that Lomachenko is his next target after his fight with Frank Martin. Lomachenko recently secured an 11th round TKO victory over George Kambosos Jr., winning IBF lightweight title. This was Lomachenko's first fight since his questionable loss to Devin Haney last May. "I never avoided fights during my career. After I rest a bit, we can discuss the future," Lomachenko said when he heard about Davis's call-out on social media. Tim Bradley believes the potential fight between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Vasily Lomachenko is a true toss-up where Davis could face his first significant defeat. Bradley points out that Lomachenko, a two-time Olympic gold medalist with a record of 18 wins and 3 losses, poses the toughest challenge yet for Davis in his 11-year professional career. Despite being 7 years older than Davis, Lomachenko's experience and skill set still make him a formidable opponent. Bradley highlights Davis's tendency to give away rounds in his recent fights against opponents like Frank Martin, Ryan Garcia, and Mario Barrios. Unlike those fights where Davis relied on knocking out his opponents, Bradley doubts Davis can outbox Lomachenko without scoring a knockout, a risky strategy. "Lomachenko is a different breed," Brady told Fight Hype. "He's the most cerebral and athletic fighter Davis has ever faced. If Davis falls significantly behind on points against Lomachenko, needing a knockout to win in November would be a tough spot for him." Bradley predicts Lomachenko will employ a defensive strategy, avoiding the mistakes of past opponents like Martin and Leo Santa Cruz, who fought from the ropes against Davis. Despite being 36 years old, Lomachenko remains at the top of his game, having defused the threats of numerous opponents throughout his career. Even at his age, Lomachenko is an A-level fighter, Bradley emphasized. He's faced tough challenges like Nicholas Walters and Teofimo Lopez, showcasing his ability to adapt and dominate. Reflecting on Lomachenko's bout with Teofimo Lopez, where he fought with an injured shoulder against a larger opponent, Bradley underscores Lomachenko's intelligence and tactical prowess. He believes Lomachenko's meticulous study of Davis's fights over the years will give him a strategic advantage. Davis, while powerful, shows limitations in his boxing skills, Bradley observed. His defensive habits, like relying on a high guard for long stretches, could lead to losses as he continues in the sport. Despite not being as young, Lomachenko's sharp mind and learned skills could counterbalance Davis's power advantage. Bradley emphasizes that for Davis to secure a victory, he would need to catch and hurt Lomachenko significantly. He points out that while it's possible for Davis to win by knockout, it's not a guaranteed outcome. If this fight does indeed materialize, pros and fans alike anticipate a tough fight for Davis, suggesting that Lomachenko's strategic acumen and experience will pose significant challenges. It is very likely that Tank will come in as the fight favorite on fight night, but many fans will still see this fight as closer to a 50-50 matchup. Will Tank be able to knock out and stop Lomachenko, or will Lomachenko put on a boxing clinic for Tank? Although the outcome remains uncertain until both warriors meet each other in the ring, one thing that is certain is the real winners will be none other than the fans of the sport of the sweet science that we call boxing. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comment below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, fight fans,